gets on the Letterman show because he's David's friend. I
Well,
know for a fact that's not true. He wouldn't put you on the show if he didn't think that you were funny.
Well, when they say that,
What
I always say is that, well, I've been on David's show about maybe 60, 70 times. I've been on Carson like 40, 50 times. I never really exactly went bowling with Johnny. So, you know,
unlike other people working today, he constructs very nice, very interesting, very witty, intelligent jokes, whereas other people may be doing physical comedy or observational comedy or sort of just comedic musing that is verbalized, but to just sit down and take a thought that is funny and turn it into just a tiny little joke is a very precise talent.
Then I read this article that said, your car reflects your personality. I got ticked off. I don't have a car.
Today's my favorite day because I get to watch my favorite program, The Outdoor Sportsman. Boy, if there's anything I can't get enough of, it's televised fishing. Why don't they just show somebody mowing their lawn? Hey, you want to watch the Super Bowl? Are you kidding? This guy's about to bait his hook. And what about that Lorena Bobbitt deal? What about that? You see, some couples have pet names for the guy's manhood. I always wondered if the Clintons did that. See? Then I saw an actual headline: President goes a year without using veto.
You did something that no other comedian has done. And I know this is not a comfortable story for you to tell, but no other comedian that I know has ever come out, started to tell jokes on The Tonight Show, and then walked back through the curtain.
Oh, yeah, I did that. I was the only guy. Well,
in the history of show business,
yeah, this was in '91, and I'll shorten this story. There's a lot that goes into this story, but I'm always nervous when I go on television. But I didn't seem to be any more nervous that day than usual. And I was backstage talking with Jim McCauley, who was the producer, one of the producers. And as I go out, I kind of blanked. I couldn't. Usually, you can kind of see the set in your head, the jokes in order. But for some reason, I was walking to my mark, and I forgot. I was just blanked out, like you always have that fear of doing. But by the time I hit the mark, I'd remembered. But I was a little off balance because of I was a little out of control there as I walked to my mark. So I fouled up the first joke. It's a joke that would be easy to foul up. Some jokes you never foul up. Some jokes you're more susceptible to a goof. Okay, so now I'm yelling. This is a great idea. So then, so I foul up the first joke, but then I make a reference to it, and Carson laughs, so I'm kind of home free. But I kept thinking about it. So I did the second joke, okay. Well, the third joke's a real difficult joke anyway, and I screwed that up. I kind of blanked in the middle of it. And I was just so disgusted and so, I don't know, frustrated. I just said, I can't do this. And I turned around and left. I went right back behind the curtain. I was just going to go home. I was so...
But if you had gone home, you must have figured, I am finished in show business.
Well, I don't know that you'd be finished in show business, but it would be even more embarrassing than what happened if I had just gone on home.
All right, so now Jim McCauley rushes up to you backstage.
He apparently had gone all the way around real quickly, and I got to watch my posture. He's there, and he says, you got to go back. He said, we'll start from the beginning. We'll stop the tape. You know, don't repeat any of the jokes or something like that. And I said, no, I got to go. And it was a variety show that night where Johnny was just having on people like a vaudeville show, Lance Burton, the magician, and he had the guy Jeff Dunham, the ventriloquist, and myself, and then maybe somebody else. And so
told you that you'd ruin the show or something.
Yeah,
didn't go back out.
He got the guilt in me because I was just thinking of myself, and just almost like a kid, Jim said, "You'll ruin our show," and it made me. It says, "Oh, okay." So I turned around, I was real ticked off, and Johnny's yelling at me from backstage. "Are you still back there, George?" And I said, "Yeah," just like I was like he was my father, and I was yeah. And later on, I heard some things that he had said. Apparently, he had said, "Well, folks, this is live television." He said George just lost his timing momentarily. So I said to McCauley, I said, maybe I won't do the same set. I thought maybe I had a mental block now against those jokes. Yeah. But anyway, and the stagehand is yelling at me, do you need a minute? Do you need a minute? And I said, no. I was just all angry. So anyway, Johnny reintroduces me, and the crowd went nuts. They went crazy. You would have thought it was Bill Cosby, because they felt, you know, sympathy for this moron who had walked off the show.
Would you welcome, please, George Miller. George.
So then I turn around and I'm walking back toward Carson, and I make a look like, oh my God. And he just cracks up. I think it was something different for him, right? He probably broke the monotony. I don't know. So I go back, and as I'm sitting down, he says something that only myself and the studio audience would know, and they really laughed when he said it. He says, George.
Yeah, George, I've never seen you work better. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
You are the only comedian that I know of who actually made a living as a pool hustler.
I did, yeah. That's absolutely true. A meager living.
A meager living.
Yeah, I was never a tournament player, but I played. We figured it out the other day, actually. In the '60s, I was probably in the top 20 of pool players in Seattle.
But George found out that as far as his mother was concerned, anything was better than hustling pool.
She always really hated me to be playing pool. She just said, what am I going to tell people? You just play pool, you hustle around like that. And so then when I always tell this story, it's basically true that when I first started working then over at the Colony Club, my first comedian job, I said, I don't think I'll be playing pool as much anymore. And she said, well, what are you going to be doing? And I said, I'll be telling dirty stories to drunk people in dark rooms, and she was very happy.
You hosted The Late Show on the Fox Network.
Everybody did. Everyone did. You were the longest host.
I was the longest host, but you hosted it. How did you like interviewing people?
I dreaded doing it. I remember when I got up that morning to do it, I did it twice.
Yeah.
And I just thought, oh, God, why do I have to do this? And, but it was interesting. I thought it came off pretty well. Is that true that in one way you're a hellraiser called the Boz, and in another way you're a smart academic guy, Brian? Is that true, or is that?
A lot of people like to think so. The way it works out is the media and the fans, they get off on this character, the Boz, and other than that, I'm just basically me. I guess I'm the hellraiser altogether.
You don't like authority, right? They said that you didn't like authority too much.
Authority and I don't get along real well.
Yeah.
And I guess I'm the instigator. You call me the bad boy of football. I wouldn't call me the bad boy. I'd call me the instigator. Jerry Robinson's the bad boy of football.
Right.
But
now the Boz, that doesn't have any connection with the Beaver, right? That's just a name, right?
What I liked about it was that normally I never see you do anything but monology, just standing up and telling jokes. But you experimented with prop humor.
Here's my first night on stage. I went on at 3 o'clock in the morning. I followed Rex the gas-passing chicken. Thank you very much.